860 going twice. 860, you are gone. Next up in line, area code 678. What's your name? What's your question, sir?
Hello?
Yes. What's up, sir? What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Steve?
Shit, you
Hey,
got it.
what's up, MF? How you
Oh,
doing?
hey, 678. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I want to talk to you. I want to take a moment to talk to you. And I want you to take a
All
moment
right.
and I want you to talk to everybody that's listening. Because you came from a place that was very confusing. You were out of your nature and you finally come home. Could we say that 678?
100% now.
Well, let's tell them this story. Let's tell them your story, and don't give out the names of who you used to listen to, because again, we don't want to. We're not here to bash any other people like they try to bash us. But I want them to understand your story, and a lot of you guys have this story. Now, 678. Let's talk about you for a second, and let's talk about where you came from and what you used to think, and we'll do it step by step. We'll start there. And then we'll start about when you and I met and how you were resistant. And then we'll go to the next phase. But let's start in the beginning. Tell us about yourself and tell us what you used to listen to and what were the things you were being taught, sir.
Okay, so the beginning of my origin story is basically, I was basically trying to figure out this whole thing about dating, relationships. So one of the first places I went to was online.
Don't say the names. Don't,
Yeah,
there you go. Don't give no names out. But yeah, go ahead.
I started listening to several different people. I ran into a bunch of different voices out there in the manosphere saying all type of stuff. And to make a long story short, like, basically I was in it deep. Like, I started following the MGTOW stuff first for about 2 years. I was into that MGTOW stuff where I was listening to this one man. He used to stream online, and basically he had a lot of facts, but it still didn't fill that void of wanting women. You know, I mean, the facts are true, but it doesn't still stop, everyday life. And so basically I went through a lot of different voices, hearing all these voices, and that's when the confusion came. That's when a lot of things, I'm trying to use all these different things now. I'm hearing different voices, and I'm trying to use, I heard this word called red pill, and now I'm using this ideology to live my life by, and I'm thinking, oh, man, this is going to make everything better. And it confused it because every voice in the red pill is different. And when you have that many voices talking to you, you don't know what direction to go in. And so that's where I was. I was in a terrible spot. In the beginning.
Okay, then you met you. I guess how the fuck did you find me? That's probably through the argument.
Right,
that was through the argument? But yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, the way I found you was actually through this man MLD, Modern Life Dating.
Okay.
And I was in his chat, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to figure out this game thing. I've heard a lot of different ideas, but what's the true stuff?" And someone in his chat said, if you really want to learn game, then you need to check out, they put Steve the Dean Williams and Lucario.
Yes.
Now, let me say this. I had already heard Lucario, and I had heard so many different voices, so I was like, I ain't checking him out again. Like, no disrespect. But, I was like, I heard him already, and I'm kind of already confused anyway. So I was like, I'm going to hold off on him, and I'm going to try Steve. And so I went to Steve. He was doing a live show, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to him. And then I was so confused because I kept hearing, if you want to get good with women, you got to be straight up with them. You got to tell them what you want. Look in the face, and tell her you're ready to go right now. And that's what I was basing everything off of. So if a woman was not responding to giving it to me right up, right away, then guess what? I was like, I'm cutting her out. Bump that.
Right.
Either it's my way or the highway.
Yes. Yes.
And it was actually not even based off of principles. It was just based off of how I felt.
Yes.
Which was not even a foundation.
Yes.
And so one day Steve was talking. He was talking to MF. And he was talking to her, and before her, it was one of her friends, an older lady. Not too much older.
Oh, you talking about J32 when they came in and started yelling at my ass?
I heard it.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, because when I first got back on, see, I was coming from this manosphere mindset where a lot of the shows women don't talk on. So I was coming from this mindset, like, why are women even talking right now? I'm just being 100%.
No, that's real. That's y'all me.
I was like, why are they even saying anything?
Yes.
And so because I was confused. I had all these different thoughts floating in my head, all this, women are this, women are that. And I was very reactive. I was in a reactive state, so I was ready to attack whatever came out.
Yes.
I was ready to get all emotional.
Yes.
And I was ready to put everything out there.
Yes, sir. So.
And basically, go ahead.
No, so then we met and we talked and you was resisting. I'm sure you thought everything I was saying was full of shit. You were skeptical. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
What do you know about women?
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest here. Go ahead. We listening.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
See, the issue is again, all these different dating coaches you guys are listening to, it's a lot of confusion in that. It's a lot of confusion. And the thing was, I was full of that confusion because everything Dean was saying, I was attacking it because of all the stuff I kept hearing. And I kept saying, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about the woman? Well, what about this? And he was like, why are you even worried about that? And I was like, because, like, how else am I going to get her? And he was like, you're trying to get the wrong thing. And I was like, really?
Right.
After a while, we kept reasoning, and we finally came to a conclusion that my whole perspective was based off of a bunch of foundations that didn't have a foundation.
Right. Now,
it was a bunch of information. Go ahead.
Why don't you tell the guys some of the teachers that you just tell them? Don't say no name. Just tell them some of the bullshit that they taught you that you learned from. Tell them some of that bullshit. Let them. What is some of the stuff they try to teach you?
Okay, so here I'm gonna give a basic baseline of it. So, alpha is a man basically, right, who can get women, with without money. A beta, by definition, is a man who gets women only based off of his status, money, and what he does. And basically, based off those definitions, here's the point I want to drive home. These dating coaches were telling me, you got to up your status, man. You got to get that job, man. You got to go out there. You got to build muscle. You got to go out there, man. You got to show these women why you the alpha, why you the big dog. You got to walk in the room like you own the room because you own your purpose. That's one of the words that was used. You own your purpose, and so you need to show these women, yeah, you the man. And I was like, I'm thinking, okay. And then after talking to Steve, I realized I'm basing this whole thing on wrong stuff. Because that's beta. See, even in a red pill, everybody understands the red pill information. They'll know what I'm talking about. Beta bucks, right? Status, wealth, all those things that you have to use to attract a woman, that's beta. But Steve has never mentioned none of that stuff. He never mentions it for a reason. And if you're following somebody that keeps saying that stuff about how to up your status and how to do all these different things instead of how to stand on who you are, let me tell you something. No matter how far we get into the future with technology, a man is still going to be a man, and a woman is still going to be a woman.
Motherfucker, right.
And so everybody think, oh, well, man, I'm learning stuff like this is the best dating coach in the world, but he teaching you how to be a man that gets women based off of what he do, not who he is. There's a difference. When you build a foundation, you have to know something about yourself. You cannot build it on other men's ideas.
Right. Okay.
A lot of people are building their whole life off of other men's ideas.
Okay, so
and that's what's going on.
Let's talk about, and again, you got a few products, and let's not discuss the products that you got, but let's talk about the first product that when you started listening. Okay, first off, let me ask this question. The way we do our shows, Is it totally different from the products?
Yes, actually it is. It's a difference.
Totally different.
Can I explain it?
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Can I
without
explain
giving
it?
it away. Yeah, go ahead and explain that shit. Yes.
Here's the key. The key is this. Everybody that you see that keeps putting these posts on YouTube and different arenas about Steve, these are people, I want to make it very clear. These are people who have never tried the product and people who only go by the crumbs he gives on YouTube. That's all those people are. They watch the videos and they make assumptions. And you know what assumptions do?
Yes,
A
sir.
lot of people, they take it and they run with it. The little stuff Steve say, they try to contradict it. They try to make it sound crazy, and it's not. And at the end of the day, guess what? You get nowhere with that because everything they're saying is they haven't even tested the product. It's
Right.
all assumptions.
Right. Yes, sir.
I mean, that's what I found out. I found out when I actually heard the product, I said, whoa, like this is different. This is actually deeper than what's being told on YouTube.
What
A lot of people, like I said, they see the crumbs and they try to judge the meal by the crumbs. You
right.
can't do that.
Right. What was your first thought when you heard the first audio of the one product, the first hour? What was your thought process? What went through your head? Because we want to talk about the metamorphosis of you listening to it, and then we're going to talk about starting to make the change and start seeing the bigger picture of where you are right now. So what was it like listening to like the first hour? What did you start to see or take from listening to the first audio of the first product that you got?
I started realizing that I started putting it up like other people would do. I started putting it up against stuff I had already learned.
Yes.
And I started trying to figure out what you were saying through what I had heard from somebody else.
Yes.
And as I kept going through the audio, I started realizing I need to just try to put all this stuff away, and I need to focus on what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
And just listen.
Yes, sir.
Listen long enough to make sure I understand what you're saying before I judge it and compare it to anything else.
Yes.
And that's what happened. I listened to it, and it started making sense. As I started dropping a lot of the stuff I was taught, I started understanding what you were saying.
Yes.
Because most people, when they listen to you, they use filters. They use things they heard from other dating coaches, and they try to put it up against yours and make yours sound or appear to be weaker or whatever.
Yes.
But the problem is the filters are not even real they're using because it's not based on the actual foundation. It's based on a bunch of ideas that work for maybe that dating coach. But it's not based on actual biology like human, the way things actually work in the wild. You know how you explain it.
Right. So now let's talk about what I call the most important phase where there was an internal battle going on with you. It was the information I was trying to give you versus all of the other shit that you learned, trying to figure out what's best for you. How did that happen? Tell me about that, because a lot of guys are going to go through that because all your life, or not all your life, for years, you were going by a bunch of silly shit versus something that is challenging you. How did that, talk about that, and then we're going to talk about your self-discovery because when you started to see everything, but we'll get to that next. But let's talk about that challenge of really letting go of all that other stuff, man.
Well, it comes to the point of what you always say. You cannot mix poison with anything and that thing be the same thing. And so I had to get to that place where either I'm going to believe what he's saying and start actually practicing this stuff, or I'm going to go back to that confusion, that swamp of a bunch of ideas coming at me, and, you got to be high status, you have to have all this stuff. I had to make a decision.
Right.
And that's what a lot of guys are going to have to do. You're going to have to make a decision. You cannot mix this stuff.
Right.
Because it's going to add more problems and confusion. You cannot do that.
Exactly.
And it's like a master. It's just like a master when you're learning certain things. You cannot mix things. You have to start where you are. You have to continue to practice that one thing continuously. You
Yes.
cannot start learning this karate and the next karate and the
Yes.
next jiu-jitsu. You can't start flipping all that stuff. You're going to
Yes.
get confused.
Yes, sir. Then let's discuss your Neo point where you finally saw the green lines coming down. You finally saw the world for what it was the first time. You finally opened your eyes to another world and discovered that the world that you had been in for all those years was a lie. Talk to them about that powerful moment that blew you away, and how did it feel? Talk to them. What happened? When did it click? Tell them about that, man.
All right, so this is what happened for me. And I think a lot of people, as they continue like to go and get the products and listen, like, this is something I'm endorsing personally because it's working for me now. What happened was, literally, I went through this stage for, like, I told C, every time I talked to him, I said, look, I feel like this is a spiritual experience. You know, this is very, very heavy, you know, and I kept telling him this is very, very heavy. Like, I feel like this is spiritual, you know, and it was, and it is. And basically, back to the point, what ended up happening was, this is what happened. Let me tell you something, for about 2.5 weeks, and this is personal, but I'm going to share this with you guys so maybe this can help you. I could not even look at pornography. I'll be 100% with y'all. All right?
No,
and I know y'all going to be like, wait a minute, Steve.
I never told him not to. I never told you. Hey, wait, hold on. I just want to say for the note, there's nothing in my products that say stop jerking off. I just wanted to say that, but go ahead.
That's
go ahead.
right.
Because I don't say that shit, but go ahead, 678. Go ahead, man.
Because this is what happened. One word that Steve kept drilling in my head, and for 2 weeks, I literally was still like a paraplegic, like no joke. Kind of like that Kanye West song. My body got still like a paraplegic. That's what happened to me, like mentally. I could not look at women as a porno anymore. I could not look at them through a lens that's dictating to me to look at them a certain way. Because I can't even, Steve told me, you focusing on the wrong thing. You trying to get the pussy, man. You trying to get it. You trying to get it. You trying to get the wrong thing. And I kept thinking, wait a minute, what do you mean the wrong thing? Isn't that the end goal? Don't women know I'm trying to get it? Well, why do I have to, why I have to do it another way? They know what I want. And the problem is my thinking was twisted because it had so many different ideas in there that were wrong about how life really works, to the point where I couldn't even watch, because they actually call it red pill masturbators, right?
Okay.
They're a group of men who realize the way female nature works, and they get so depressed that they stay away from women, and they go deep into this almost like meditative state of trying to achieve, and then they start also trying to, like, they look at women differently, but they still masturbate because they have the desire to talk to women. So with me, that stopped. I got to a place where, look, there's only reality right now. That was my moment in the Matrix. There's only reality. Women are not the way you see them. They're not the way other men tell you they are. And even what you said recently, over the last couple of days, you even said how another man's experience is not going to be your experience with that woman. And so it's little things like that that started tearing down things in my own head and start making me really wake up and say, you know what, this is real. Because people joke and think it's funny when you say that this isn't a porno. A lot of people are programmed by that stuff.
Yes, sir.
A lot of men actually do think women are just going to, if he shows her a $100,000 receipt of a bank account, men actually think, oh, she's going to put on her pants for me. If I show her my Cadillac, there's no way she's not going to want to sleep with me. And they think this is because a lot of this dramatic stuff from pornography and false advertisement of success, all that stuff is there to sell things. But what you're not selling us nothing. You're telling us something.
Yes.
That's the difference that kind of woke me up. I realized you're not out here trying to get a bunch of subscribers, and I found out, man, like this is more real than anything out here. Period. And it's no joke.
Okay, because you were sending me messages like, you were like, whoa, this is crazy. I'm starting to see things different now, and I never thought things like this, and wow, I'm learning things about myself that I never discovered before. How does that feel to finally be free of all that bullshit and you finally get to see the world for what it is? How does that feel to you, man? I can't put it into words, but if you can, please let them know, sir.
I'll be honest with you. You feel almost like a god.
Yo, yes.
Like,
yes.
because
yes.
you really see, like, my whole aura has changed when I walk in a room now. I don't feel the same way I used to feel. I don't have all those itching thoughts that are fluttering in my head. I don't feel that stuff no more. And I'm not trying to make it seem like this is just a perfect thing. I'm trying to say that in reality, when you look at reality for what it is, things change.
Yes.
You cannot be bought by everything that's being said and sold to you. And I've even found out that a lot of men that are telling you these things, they're confident in themselves, but you don't even know who you are, and you're trying to use their products.
Yes.
You know, a lot of guys.
Yes.
A lot of guys out here who are listening to me, you're trying to use a person's product who know who they are.
Yes.
And you don't know who you are, so you're trying to use somebody else's voice to get one of your own.
Yes.
And it doesn't work that way.
Damn, that's some real ass shit.
I mean, it changes everything.
Yes.
It does.
Yes. And seeing the world and understanding the confidence and understanding that it's not about the pussy, is it? All this time you realize this shit has nothing to do with the pussy, does it?
No, it doesn't. No. And it's a process of worship.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of men, they don't realize it, but whenever you start idolizing something, you put it before you.
Yes.
And you make it a ritual to continually go before it and feed yourself off of that image. And you think this image is greater than you are.
Right.
That's what starts to happen. The more you keep putting that image more over your own image, you lose.
Yes.
You know, that's what's going on now. A lot of men are doing that. A lot of these dating coaches are telling these guys, oh, you need status, you need money, you need this. But they're not telling you need yourself. That's who you need. You can't do this thing. You can't do this thing with somebody else's voice.
Right. And when did you start discovering? Now, let me ask you something. Once you realize that most of the shit you've been following is bullshit and all the other stuff, was there an angry moment or like feeling stupid? I mean, was there something that you realized like, damn, I can't believe all this time I was being blinded by something? Did you go through that phase, sir?
Yes, it was a phase of anger and embarrassment because of the whole idea of like, you know, you're embarrassed because this guy keeps telling you that you're an alpha, but he keeps telling you to do beta things. And then you go through this phase of realizing everything he's telling you to do is actually beta. Everything he's telling you to do is the total opposite of what his name is, right? Different people, everybody has a name, but I'm making a point. I'm not trying to stir up any waters, but I am saying this. It makes you angry and you feel embarrassed because you literally stood on what that person said. You were quoting them. You were using their quotes. You were talking like them. You were acting like them. You were taking on their personality traits. You were watching their videos. You were almost brainwashing yourself to be like them. And then later you find out that this man or these group of men are not telling you everything that actually exists. They're telling you little bitty pieces from their own life. And it's not enough to get you where you're trying to go.
Isn't it amazing that while you were following those guys, you pretty much saw me as the enemy? I'm sure you were like, what the fuck? Who the fuck does this guy think he is? This guy's full of shit. That's not correct. What do you mean it's not about pussy? Did you have that moment? Did you have that moment where you looked at me and was like, man, what is this motherfucker? This motherfucker's full of shit. He ain't getting no fucking women.
Yeah, I had that moment, and it was so deep. See, I'm kind of analytical, so
yes,
when I get into things, I go pretty deep.
Yes, sir.
So I started looking up videos of people who were saying things about you.
Yes.
And I was trying to see, okay, what is this saying? You know, what are they saying, and do they have a point?
Well, what were they? I know
Because I
this is
like to
great.
make
Tell
sure-
me. Well, I'm sorry. Tell everybody, what were they saying? Now you understand this. Have you ever seen me make a video on anybody?
Never. No.
Never.
No.
Now, what were they saying about your boy, the Dean? Tell them that yeah, you saw the videos. We want to know, what were they saying about the man mindset? What were you hearing in videos?
It kind of made me upset. They were trying to call it the beta male mindset, and it was making me, after I woke up and I went and actually seen it again, it struck me, and it made me a little bit go back into that angry phase again, because there are a lot of people not understanding what's going on.
Okay, but what were they saying
were
before
saying
that? Yeah, well, let's know. Let's go ahead. You say it. We don't care. Tell everybody.
Okay.
What were they saying about me? It's okay. Hey, listen, I'm not going to take offense to it, but I want them to hear this, because these are the same guys that's trying to falsify and lie to you. But no, tell them, what were they saying in videos about me? What were they saying?
They were saying things like, you know, he's the cake ass. They were saying stuff like, oh, look at Steve, like there was a debate between you and another YouTuber.
Yeah, we know.
And
Right? That
they
was
were
the
trying to
AMS
say-
debate that we had about lying versus telling the truth.
hmm And these people were literally coming out saying that basically you were being emotional. How can a man who's been married for so many years give good advice? I mean, they were trying to hit real personal. They kept saying this dude is delusional. You know, this dude, what does he know? You know, we never seen his family. What is he talking about? Like, they kept coming. Everything you could think of that's personal about somebody, they were throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to make it seem like Steve. He's just mad because his YouTube channel ain't blowing up like his.
Right.
They were trying to bring out everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
Oh, he's jealous of this young man.
Yes.
Oh, he's jealous of this young man. He's jealous. You know.
Yeah.
That they kept saying things like that. Look at him. He's so emotional. Look at him. He's reacting. Look at him.
Right.
And they didn't know the difference between passion and reaction.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. So when you heard all that, then you started to see things and you went back in. What made you angry after that point? Because did it ever dawn on you, why isn't this guy ever talking shit about people? Why is he just staying to himself? He just stays to himself. He just stays to helping his own people. Yeah.
What got me was how, and I'm not shooting at anyone, but what got me was how he had so many comments backing him, and there was like none backing you. That was one thing that kind of egged me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you were the one that was showing integrity, and a lot of.
Oh shit! Someone has yanked the plug. 678. Okay, 67. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was just saying that basically it was that place where everybody was trying to judge you based off of one video. They were trying to come up with different things, and what got me angry was how they was missing everything you were saying. The point was, you do not lie to a woman.
They were worried about the messenger and not the message. They were so busy worrying about my life, they weren't listening to the message.
They missed the whole point. Was the sad part. It really made you realize the 80-20 rule.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask this question: who do you know shows you receipts? Who do you know does a Halloween game, Easter, Valentine's, water holes? Who do you know that does that?
There isn't anyone.
Who has a chat? Who has a chat line with women? Look, they can go talk to women right now. Right fucking now. Who does that?
See? And that's another thing is receipts. A lot of people were literally verifying why he didn't have receipts. And I realize it's so easy to get on the bandwagon when you kind of connect. Like, see, what people don't realize is when someone's a master over you, there's going to be a while before you can actually understand what they're saying.
Right.
And a lot of people think because that person is relatable, I need to be with this person. He's my age. He's closer to my age. He understands what I'm saying, not realizing just the person that understands what you're saying is probably on your level. if they're that person that if you understand what they're saying and they understand what you're saying, y'all probably on the same level. But if you meet somebody that knows how to talk to you and can go higher than you and show you and teach you something you didn't know, that's a master. That's somebody you need to listen to. You need to say, what's going on with this? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
You know, and if that person can explain, like you say, you got to be able to stand on it. If somebody is not, if every time you ask somebody to show a receipt, they keep being funny, they throw out jokes, they make comments, and they try to play it off like it's not a big deal. Well, I got tons of women. And, you know, I got all this stuff. I got status. I got clout. I got power. And they keep using all of that to deflect what's really going on. They can't give you an answer. That is proof right there. Everybody can't see that.
You know,
we get caught up in the relatability.
Right, but again, who do you know that will take a text message unscripted and have an answer? Who does that?
Nobody. Nobody's going to try it.
Nobody's going to try it because they can't do it.
Because they know it. There's a lot that's going to go along with that.
Yes, yes, and that's the thing, man. And that's why we stay to ourselves, and that's why we don't talk shit or make video specifically to somebody. We don't do that because it's none of my business how they feel or how they think. My job is not to explain myself to anybody. I'm the motherfucking dean, goddammit. I don't explain my shit to no motherfucking body, nor will I ever.
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
Right, you don't
have to do that.
You don't have to do that. You just see my behaviors and know, but the thing is why do you think, the last thing I want to ask you real quick is, why do you think so many guys are blinded by, is it because the quick fix and that I'm saying they got to do work? What makes them run away from the truth? Is it them lying to themselves? What is it that makes them run to the lies? Because you were doing that. What made you run to the lies, the gimmicks, and the manipulation? What made you run there, man?
Okay, so I was thinking about this for a minute, and what I came up with was kind of what you were saying in your boot camps about the playing it safe guy and the guy that's active. And basically, the way it works is the guy who, you know, you have play to win, right?
Yes.
You have play to win, play to lose, and you have play it safe. I realized something about my personal generation, you know, millennial and all. A lot of us are playing safe guys. You know, we hope something works, and we hope, but we're so in hope mode that anything that sounds like it works, we try it, we put it on. Anything that sounds like I can just skip a couple steps and be right with my master's degree, that's what I'm going to do. And so we run to it, we dedicate our time, money, and effort to it, and we say, yes, this is going to get me closer, and we find out I really didn't get as close as I thought I did.
Right.
And a lot of us, that's what happened to me. I realized that it's that work that has to be done. Do you have the mind to do that?
Yes.
You got to have a mind. That's why this is called the mindset, the man mindset, because you have to have the mindset to do those things. You just can't have a couple tactics and a couple ideas to do it. You have to have the mind to do it. You know, and I realize that's what's been going on. A lot of guys, we want to play it safe, so we're looking for something that sounds good. And you know what? A couple other guys say, how do I know he's not paying people to tell me this stuff works? Right? Just being honest. How do I know that person don't have friends in the chat that are trying to make it seem like his stuff is working? You know? Well, because even with Steve is not trying to tell you how to get all these things. He's telling you how to be a man.
Yes.
Period.
Well, and how do I know
He's not trying to tell you all these tactics.
Right, but how do I know is you call in and you read your text message to me, and I'll tell you what to do unscripted. That's it. That's it.
Oh, yep.
You get in the chat room and you tell me what to say to the women. I don't make up the shit y'all tell me to say. You know what I mean? You heard me? You heard me on the dating chat line? I tell me the fucked up things you want me to say, and I'll say it. I live with my mom. I got a small dick. I live in the basement. I got pimples on my. Whatever you want me to say, I'll say it, and I still win. But
and see, that's go ahead.
But that's just what it is. But anyway, to sum this up and wrap it up, what do you want to say to the guys out there? Because what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out to make this a great test. Because this is something that's really powerful because it's the self-discovery you have for yourself right now of finally getting it and understanding that this is so big and so deeper than just women. I mean, see, those guys talk about women. Am I correct? Getting the woman, getting pussy, right?
100%. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I will. I do have dirty talk and master the bedroom for sexual stuff for the woman, but that's not who we are. We're about more than that, are we not?
See, that's a part of who we are.
Yes,
that's a part of who we are. That's not
Play.
What we make it about, though.
Oh yes. And that's the thing. Oh,
I know it's a lot of. Can I say the end?
Yes.
Say that. Basically, there are a lot of young men that are going to hear this in the future, and I just want them to know it's not. Look. A lot of people are talking out there. There are a lot of voices out here in YouTube. A lot of voices. They're giving you advice. They're giving you all these tactics, but they're not building something in you to help you last. What's the point? See, a lot of times they're catching a fish and giving it to you, but they're not teaching you how to fish. And that's what's going on in this world right now, especially in YouTube. A lot of guys are catching a fish for you. Say this pickup line, walk up to her this way, act confident. Don't be confident, act confident. And they're telling you what to do, but they're not telling you how to keep yourself in that whole time of why you being that, why you're doing that. They're not telling you that it's not based on how you feel. They don't get into the mental part of it. They only get into the mechanics. Just work this and you'll get a result. And I'm telling you guys, if you're red pill, MGTOW, if you're true force lonely, if you're any part of that, you need to really listen to this carefully. All you have to do is give it a try. Again, everybody that's coming against Steve have never had his products, and everybody that's coming against him only heard a little bit of what he said, and they judge him based off of that. They don't even have enough information to judge him on. They're just going by reaction mode. Well, he said this. Well, why did he say it that way? And they don't sit down and reason like a man. They don't logically think this thing through. They just assume. And they keep assuming, and now they're following someone else that's only trapping them for more money later.
Yes, sir.
So that's my take on it, guys. Test it. Taste and see. That's a biblical word. Taste and see, and you'll find out what's really going on. But you have to want it. You have to want to know. You just can't be like, I'm going to try it, and if it don't work, I'm going to blame Steve. No. No, don't try it then, because you're gonna bring out more confusion in yourself and in other people. You got to really be willing to submit and listen to this stuff. You got to let that other stuff go.
All right, man. All right, so I want to say thanks, man, for calling in, but I think it was important that a lot of these guys understand. Again, 678, they don't have to listen to us. How many times did I tell you that, 678? You don't have to listen to us. You can go about your way. If you really want to win, hey, we ain't the end all be all. We never said we were, but we a bad motherfucking crew of motherfuckers that know what we doing. Because we get results. We do the things that no one else does on YouTube. Nobody does the shit we do. Nobody.
Hey, can I say something to MF?
Yes, please do.
Hey, MF, how you doing?
How are you?
Not bad, but check this out. Last time we met, we painted this beautiful picture. We talked about going down to where was it? Do you remember what park?
Centennial.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now, I actually changed the park to Piedmont. But instead of getting into that, I want to share this really quick. The stuff you're saying, I actually wanted to clear that up real quick, too. I appreciate you being honest, 100%. I'm not going to try to spit at you because, Dad got hoes, too. But what I'm saying is, now at this point I'm at now, I recognize what's going on. And I think a lot of guys are still confused. You're doing what you're supposed to do. I ain't mad at
That's
you.
real.
It's all good.
That's real.
That's all I am.
That's real.
All right.
All right, well, thank you, brother, for calling in, man. And guys, y'all want to call in 515-605-9373 is the number. We wanted to thank you, 678. We'll put you back in. I'll put you in the queue right there. But that's the thing we want y'all to understand here, man, is that we don't have to fight anybody else because we stand on our own shit. Nobody's doing what the fuck we do, period. And we don't need to have hundreds of thousands of people and all that other stuff. We don't need that stuff. We need more guys like those guys that are worrying about what I have for breakfast, what I fed my dog for lunch,